Hey, welcome to this next video about process work in the Melbourne Processwork Intensive. I'm Liz Scarr, process-oriented diplomat and one of the trainers in the intensive, and in this little video I wanted to talk about one of the most foundational, beliefs or attitudes that inform the process work model, and that is the idea that problems are not just problems. They're problems and things that happen in our life that cause us suffering or upset or hurt. They're difficult, and they also contain encoded information that's about things that are missing from our awareness in either this particular issue or somewhere in life that can actually help us become more whole and teach us about our own inner diversity. So in process work, while we'll sympathise with the ways in which we suffer, we kind of figure if that's not quite enough, if we really want to kind of grow and understand and move out of suffering, is that also we want to get curious and interested in what's going on with this issue, what's behind it, what's it trying to tell me or teach me, kind of thing. So in process work we think about it in terms of like this sense of an everyday self, and then this thing that disturbs us. So an experience could be all kinds of stuff. This thing that's not us, that we wish wasn't happening, that's upsetting, challenging, somehow, irritating to our everyday self and our sense of identity and the limited sense of well-being that we kind of have in that moment. So it can come in many different guises. So it can be, say, like a body symptom or an ache or pain or an illness where the everyday self is me who suffers and who's got a sore leg or a cold or whatever it is, and then the disturber comes through in the signals of the actual illness or the aches or pains themselves. That's the thing that's disturbing. In relationship conflicts as well, so I might identify as the person who's right, or I'm the victim of somebody else's arrogance or rudeness or whatever else it is. The other person is the disturber, the thing that we wish was not there, would go away, would behave the way we want them to behave. So again, we would say the relationship conflict carries information about our own wholeness that we've been marginalising unconsciously, usually, and that's pretty normal. And that if we kind of unfold it with that attitude and with curiosity, we can maybe find out more about our own selves and the inner conflicts that we have too. So also it comes up in synchronicities out in the world where an outer experience kind of connects somehow to our internal experiences. And then also accidents or injuries that we have, big and small, we would work with those as well. As I'm the person who suffered the accident. That's my everyday self. Ouch, I got hurt. And then the disturber is the thing that is the accident, and the energy comes in that accident state. Then also, sometimes it's very, very subtle. It's in communication signals. So the way in which we say something or don't say something, so pauses, finishing a sentence halfway through, changing the tone or the modulation or the pace in which we're speaking, all kinds of things in the paralanguage we talk, negations as well. So all these things would be small signals of something we're marginalising and disturbed by. And then also involuntary movements or postures, particularly if they're if they don't align with what we're saying or what we're intending to communicate. I won't forget it to the end now, the little secret promo word, Cookie Monster, continuing our Sesame Street theme. Now in process work, what do we actually do with these things? It's all good and well to go, there's all these signals of disturbances or things that we don't like happening. But what do we do? So in process work, we have like a range of tools and techniques for unfolding these disturbances to basically decode them so they make sense to us. It's like a nighttime dream that's also full of characters and things that we think are not us. So we don't analyse these signals and these disturbances as much as we actually engage with them in their own way of expressing themselves until they make sense to our everyday mind. So it's like with a figure in a dream, we don't go, there was a chicken in my dream, which means that I want to go travelling because chickens like to cross the road. You think about it, and that's, maybe that's useful to a certain point, But process work would go, hey, oh, oops, would go, hey, my video camera's sliding down again despite the fact that I put blue tack there. What's that about? The blue tack must be sliding. It is like about 33 degrees Celsius, so it could be. Oh, this is a disaster. Okay, here we go, friends. We've got a signal in the moment. I'm going to have to hold it with my hand. And let's say just say there was a chicken in our dream. Chicken just came to mind. I really wish it hadn't, because in process work we would go, okay, chicken, let's be a chicken. What's it like to be a chicken? You know, we would actually kind of step into that role, that kind of unknown thing. Oh, I really don't want to hold this with my hand. There we go. Okay, let's try this. And so these signals that we work with, these disturbances, we tend to think about them as encoding, hiding sort of unconscious or things that we've unconsciously marginalised about ourselves. And it can be things like strength, or it could be vulnerability, or it could be creativity or rationality. It could be leadership or submission, or letting go, or being more in control, holding on, being less in control. It could be all kinds of things depending on the person, depending on what it is that they have unconsciously marginalised in their own kind of identity and own wholeness. The other thing that we don't do is we don't think about them causally as well. We don't go, oh, this caused that, or this happened, so therefore this happened. We kind of just free ourselves up from trying to make very logical connections like that and just go into the experience itself. So, you know, that's all I wanted to say. It's a quick one today. And if you've got any questions, feel free to stick them in the comments or shoot them through. But yeah, that's how we kind of think about problems. Okay, see you, bye.